Welcome to week 13. This week we are looking at the relationship between President and Congress. We want you to be able to understand the constitutional relationship between the executive and the Congress. Congress is an Article 1 institution for a reason. The framers expected the Congress to be the seat of government. That's sort of an essential feature of democratic regime. They expected the executive primarily to be engaged with the execution of the laws. Want you to be able to explain the sources of executive and congressional conflict. One of the ones that I find interesting is just the basic, contrasting cultures between the executive branch and the congressional branches of government. Members of Congress tend to be careerists. They tend to think, take the long term. They tend to think more than 2 years ahead, whereas presidents, once they're elected, they know they have to hit the ground running. So their focus and their time horizon is much more constrained. They want to get things done. That really can be an important source of conflict. We want you to be able to analyze the dynamics that facilitate presidential leadership in Congress. What are the features that enable Congress, enable presidents to get legislation that they want out of Congress? That's a difficult, tenuous thing to try and do. It's and what we find when we study the subject systematically is there are times when you're just not going to. It doesn't matter how persuasive you are. It doesn't matter, if the time's not right, you're not going to get anything out of Congress. If you happen to be a president where the other party controls one or both houses of Congress, you're going to have trouble, particularly in this kind of an environment where the relationship between the two parties is viewed very much as a zero-sum affair. And then finally, we want you to, evaluate the effectiveness of presidents in securing congressional action. Again, recognizing there are times, whatever you think about Barack Obama as a president, he wasn't going to get much accomplished after 2011, simply because Republicans were not prepared to give him a victory, particularly between 2011 and his reelection bid of 2012. But then even thereafter, congressional Republicans are simply culturally in a place where being seen giving that particular president a win was simply not particularly likely. We've only got the 2 assignments this week. We've got our quiz, of course, which is a weekly thing, and then we've got the forum. So let's make sure again that we have a great week and complete all of our assignments.